Joining us now from the Perth studio representing AVZ Minerals is Nigel Ferguson. Nigel, thanks for being with us here today.
It's a pleasure, thank you.
So as it's your first video, we will start you off, please, with an introduction to AVZ Minerals, the team, your project, your strategies.
Certainly. Well, we've been around for a little while. I mean, we've been listed on the ASX, I think, since early 2000s, but really only started getting into bringing this nice big project in a couple of years ago. It's been worked on for a longer time than that, but the project was secured in December 2016, and we've built the team up since then. So we've got a very good team of 3 expatriates in country who run the technical operations. We have some senior local managers who we've worked with previously as well. And then upper management, Klaus and myself and the rest of the board are pushing everything that we can to make this a very successful project.
And I definitely want to speak more to you about that project in depth, but first we must address, you've had a few trading suspensions on the ASX this month, some instigated by you, some not. Could you tell us what's going on, please?
Yes, I suppose we have been in and out, and I know there's a lot of people out there, shareholders, who are probably upset with that as well. But look, it all comes down to nuances of terms and complying with the JORC code and reporting JORC standards. We're very bullish about our project. We believe it's going to deliver, and we're not overstating what we think we can deliver. However, we need to tick the boxes for the ASX and ASIC to make sure that we're compliant with the rules, I suppose.
Absolutely. So Nigel, you're confident that all will be back and it's just a bit of enthusiasm?
I think so. I mean, people who have visited the site seem to get a better appreciation of it. Probably extend that offer to the ASX if they wanted to visit the site. I don't think it will change anything though. I mean, we're very bullish about the project, as I've said. And we should be. I think it's world class. It just needs to be drilled out. So maybe we're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves in stating things that will come out in the wash when the drilling results are through.
Of course, you and a couple of your team members there are quite expert in country. So can you tell us about this latest project that you're tackling for AVZ Minerals, the Manono Project? Tell us about the operating environment and also your plans to turn this into a resource.
Yes, Manono is about a 500 kilometre directly north of Lubumbashi, which is the capital of the Katanga province as it used to be known. It's been split into 4, but essentially 500 kilometres north of Lubumbashi. When we first started, there was a road to travel in on, which would take you 2 to 4 days, or you could fly in on a single flight a week. Since then, we've been established. We've set a camp up on site. There's a lot of historical buildings that were there from the original tin mining operations that were in operation from, I think, about 1910 through to about 1980. They extracted about 90 million cubic metres, 140, 150 million tonnes of material during that time, and only for the tin and some of the tantalum credits from the units. And we've assessed it for spodumene, for lithium, obviously one of the hot commodities at the moment, battery minerals. And as it turns out, this just happens to be a very nice, clean spodumene bearing pegmatite, but just massive in size. Total strike length for the 2 zones, we've split it into 2 to make it a bit easier to operate, but we've got about 12 kilometres of strike length. We're operating within the southern sector at the moment, which is what we're calling Roche Dure, the old historical pit. And it's just super big. It's 250 metres, 300 metres wide. It's about 2 kilometres long. We've got extensions to that as well. So we're concentrating on one area to be able to drill out resources, which we hope we will have the first resource calculation out in June, late in the June. And from there, we'll obviously be doing infill drilling to get mineable reserves, some studies put around those, engineering studies, with the view to fast-tracking things as quickly as we can to get into production.
Very exciting that you've had some visible spodumene and we're expecting some results in June. Could you tell us a bit more about the plans for the near to medium term, and are they funded?
We're fully funded actually, which is a nice position to be in. We've got about $23 million in the bank at the moment. We've still got a lot of options out there that'll convert as well, which will bring additional cash in. We're concentrating essentially on 2 rounds of drilling. It's two slugs of 20,000 meters of drilling. It's all diamond core, so it's a little bit more expensive, but it gives us the best results geologically. Yeah, I mean, the first 20,000 meters should be over and done with by June, I would think, and on the back of that, the resource will be calculated. We'll roll over immediately into the next round of 20,000 meters, infilling, but also there's another area, the Carrier de l'Est area. We'd like to put some drill holes into that. That looks like it's shaping up to be a good pegmatite as well. Mining studies, we're doing some characterization metallurgical test work at the moment, which initial results are coming through. They're positive. We just need to have them qualified by a metallurgist, and then we'll be able to announce those to the market as well. So it's pretty exciting times, yeah.
Yeah, sounds like a lot of things happening, and good news that you're funded. But could you speak to us more about your expectations for the project in relation to the lithium market, which of course is a very hot commodity right now? And I know you've had some early interest potentially in strategic investment and offtake agreements. What can you tell us about all of that?
Yeah, no, certainly we've had a lot of interest from a lot of the Chinese battery manufacturers very early in the piece as well, but we've sort of batted them back too early to really get them involved with offtake. With only 7 drill holes in the project when we were doing our due diligence, we decided that we would get resources up first so that we could actually talk some sound numbers, some solid numbers. We've since sort of realised that we are going to be getting a fairly decent sized resource out of this, so we should be able to talk about some offtake. So we're engaging at the moment with several entities to talk about a potential strategic investment in the order of $40–50 million, something like that, which would include some sort of offtake on the product that we think we can produce from Manono. Currently, we're sort of looking around about the 360,000 tonnes per annum on a staged increase. That will be the final product that we could produce. And a lot of these entities are very interested in taking most of that. So it would make construction fundable by probably a 50% equity and 50% debt. But it's early stages, very early stage.
Well, thanks for all of that insight, Nigel. And can you leave us off, please, with a little recap of the next key news flows for AVZ Minerals here at home and at your project in the DRC?
Well, certainly we'll be smashing out these 20,000 metres of drill meters to get the resource completed first. That's the first ticket. We've already commenced infrastructure studies. We've got a full-time director who's already engaged with those sorts of things previously in the DRC, so he's very well versed in it, and he'll be continuing to do studies on the railway and the road. And then we'll be engaging further with metallurgical and engineering groups to finalise all of the technical work that needs to go in to do a scoping study and definitive feasibility studies after that as well. So they'll be in train within the next 6 months, I would have thought, after the resource is calculated.
A lot happening then, and we will be keeping tuned, as will investors, I'm sure. Thanks for joining us today for all the clarifications on what's going on with AVZ and about the exciting updates on Manono.
Thank you very much. I hope everybody appreciates the project and how it's going to come into fruition.